Hey y'all, my name is Keisha Patrice and this is Talk to Me Tarot. So today I'm going to be coming to you guys with the energy check-in for the General Collective. Um, yeah, this is going to be a completely random reading. Sorry, if y'all can hear my music in the background, I don't own the rights to that music. It's going to be a completely random check-in. Whatever comes out, comes out. If it sounds like I'm talking to you, it's because I am. However, if it does not apply, please let it fly. Like, do not force the message to fit. Okay, guys? What else? If I get to cussing, please excuse the language. Get the message. Whether I'm saying he, she, you, him, them, they, whatever. We all have both masculine and feminine energy. So again, if it sounds like I'm talking to you, just put yourself where you go. Like flip the roles if you have to. We're going to pull a 5-card spread. We're going to pull everything together. I'm going to shuffle them in front of you guys. I already went through the decks that I'm using to make sure they were all in the upright. Because as I tell you guys, them being in reverse changes the meaning of the cards. So we start everything off fair and square. If I feel led to call signs, I will, but don't get caught up just on that particular sign because they could also represent the characteristics associated with that sign, or they could represent the timeline associated with that sign. What else? Yeah, that's it. We're going to go from there, okay? I'm probably not going to start with this deck. I don't really use it too often. It's like too big for my hands. And my fan just gonna be on in the background. Okay, trying to save my coin on this air conditioning. Wait till the kids get home type deal. Yeah, I don't know why I'm hella shuffling this deck like I'm supposed to start with it. So we gonna start with it. Alright, what's up with the General Collective? What's going on with the General Collective? I flipped over. What's going on with the General Collective? I do not own the rights to this music. What's going on? Two more, y'all. That one flipped over. One more. What's going on with the General Collective? That one flipped over. Alright. Y'all got the freaking glare. Y'all got the World card. Y'all got the 4 of Swords. Y'all got the 5 of Pentacles. Y'all got the Justice card. And y'all got the Queen of Cups. Something like there could be either, it's two scenarios I see here. One, let's just get this out the way because it just is graduation season. That could be what this World card is representing, like something coming to like an end, like but on some completion type shit. Like you finished it, you figured it out. You know what I'm saying? You had your epiphany, light bulb moment. Or something just came back around full circle on some, it could be on some what goes around comes around type shit. It could be something coming around full circle as in like there was a missing piece to something and you finally got that to the point where you are able to, it looks like, shift your focus to a more like positive mindset, because with this 4 of Swords, it's like something was on repeat in your head. like for a minute, like, and you could have felt like something was playing on loop, like, and you couldn't get past it to the point where um I don't know if this was like I'm getting like a disappointment, or like somebody feel like they were too chill in terms of something. Like you were too cool about something. But whatever happened with the situation, like it seems to be working out for your good now, because it's like somebody had a shift in like perspective, if that makes sense. For some reason I keep being drawn to like the equal sign on her chest. Yeah, it's like you figured something out, and it made you focus on yourself more, or love on yourself more, or consider your needs more, or like this could be at a time where you probably feel like you're being selfish, but in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. We about to get into it. Again, I don't own the rights to this music. If y'all can hear it playing in the background. I can't tell which one is louder, my TV or my fan, but my fan real up and close and personal right now. My daughter probably gonna take it when she get here. um, yeah, let's get to clarifying these cards. Okay. First of all, I want to know like what you felt like you was too chill about, since that's the center of the reading. Oh, it's clarified by the Ten of Swords. So, like, it could be like you felt like you was too chill in terms of the way you approach something, or you could have felt like you were too chill in terms of giving like multiple chances that didn't pay off, that didn't benefit you in any kind of way. Like it hurt you more than it helped you, or you could have felt like you were too chill in terms of like putting yourself to the side. Does that make sense? What else? What was playing on repeat in your damn head though? What what was the situation that was playing on repeat in your head? Page of Swords in reverse. Hold on. Yeah, Page of Swords in reverse. You felt like you needed to stop giving your attention to something, like stop looking at something, or stop. Yeah, I really got like paying attention to something, or giving something too much of your attention. What though? What? What is this Four of Swords in reverse? I mean, Page of Swords in reverse. Excuse me. You was juggling. You was something you kept going back and forth in your mind about. Like you were trying to make up your mind about something, but like so much so that it was playing on repeat in your head, and like the more you thought about it, the more you didn't want to think about it, because like in terms of the role you played in the situation, that's how you feel about it. Like you was too chill when it came to something, or you gave too many chances, or like something wasn't getting nowhere, to the point where you didn't want to pay it attention no more because it wasn't getting you nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You was ready for it to be over, or to be done, or just to, you know what I'm saying, like wrap it up. Like what it's gonna be already. Like you was just ready to figure it out. Thank you, Father. You was just ready to figure something out so you could like move forward and focus on yourself. What was this that you was juggling? What's this Two of Pentacles? It came out sideways. High Priestess. Trusting yourself, listening to your intuition, like really paying attention to what's in front of you, to the point where you call a spade a spade. Like you got tired of Thank you, Father. Like giving something too much credit or moving based like strictly on potential or giving too much of yourself, like you felt unbalanced because like maybe you were giving in the area like too much in the area more than you should have, or you in a way you felt like you was neglecting yourself or hurting yourself, like trying to juggle you with something else. What is this you don't trust yourself with? Dang. That came out quick. A seven of pentacles in reverse. Something like you chose to invest in. You started to look at it like maybe you weren't making wise choices in terms of whatever this is you was pouring yourself into, because it got to a point where it made you feel like you were neglecting yourself, trying to hold on to whatever that was, or trying to invest into whatever that was. It was like the more you poured into it, the more you felt like you was leaving yourself like empty. Kind of like pouring from an empty cup, like, and knowing it but still doing it. Does that make sense? I don't own the rights to this music. Sorry, I'm gonna say that every time a new song come on. What was this you were questioning about, if you should be investing in it or not? Knight of Cups. It's something to do with like matters of the heart, something you cared about. You felt like you possibly cared about something a little too much, or you gave your like a little too much of yourself. Like you possibly could have felt like you moved too fast with something, or like maybe you were the only one. Hold on, clarify this Knight of Cups too. I know it's like finish your thought, because that's what I heard, like finish your thought, but I'm gonna clarify it first. What's up with this Knight of Cups? Yeah, you felt like you were giving, like spreading yourself too thin in terms of something you was juggling. You were investing in the area that you wanted to see fruit in. Like you wanted it to work out. You wanted things to be cool. You wanted it to pay off. You wanted like you wanted things to balance out. Like, but when you were dealing with it, whatever this was that came through circle, because like I keep hearing like it's a wrap. So it's like when you were in the situation, you gave more than 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, or at least that's how you felt at times. Like you were giving more than 100% because something felt like unbalanced about it. Like you were paying too much attention to something, or you were giving too much in a situation, investing too much in a situation that you possibly could have felt juggled in, or in a situation where it's like you were constantly weighing the pros and cons, like you were constantly trying to figure something out while you were in it. So much so, like you could feel like you overplayed your role, like overextended yourself, or you were too chill about something to the point where like maybe you ignore your own boundaries to the point where you felt like you was like stabbing yourself in the back. You feel me? Like betraying yourself, disappointing yourself, breaking your own heart, like going against like what you would normally do. And because it's like you were struggling, thank you, Father, with this high priestess coming out sideways. It was like you were struggling to trust yourself when you was in whatever situation this was, because that's how you felt, like overly invested, or like you were moving too fast, or maybe you felt like you were moving from, thank you, Father, you felt like you were moving from emotion to the point where it ended up hurting you. And in order to, thank you, Father, and in order to balance things out, like you pull back so that you can work on yourself. Yeah. Give me more on this Eight of Pentacles. I don't own the rights to this music. Yeah, you just stopped investing in it, started working on yourself, and that's what it took for you to do in order to feel like you are moving forward, or like you can move on with something, or just like have motion. Because like whatever this was you felt like you was over investing in, it's like you couldn't push past it. Like it had you stuck in your head, or it had you stuck in your feelings, or it got to a point where you felt like you were in a situation that you weren't sure you were supposed to be in. You couldn't say that you wasn't, but you couldn't say that you was either. Like, that's what I'm saying. You were constantly juggling. Like, sometimes you trusted it, sometimes you didn't. Sometimes you wanted it, sometimes you didn't. Sometimes you was cool, sometimes you wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's a cycle that played on repeat to the point where the biggest question became like, what am I doing? Like, what role am I playing? Like, what's my part? What's my position? Like, and somebody got tired of questioning that when it came to something, to the point where you balance things out by just pulling yourself out, like taking yourself out of the equation. You subtracted yourself from the equation, started working on yourself and moving forward, like with what's the goal with this chariot? What's the goal with this chariot? The star, you started pouring back into yourself. Because something made you feel vulnerable, or maybe it made you feel like too open, or you felt like your feelings was exposed, but at the same time you were in the dark about something. Thank you, Father. Like you felt like you were on display, like you were too much on display considering how much you felt in the dark about something. And I'm really thinking it's like in terms of like emotions, how something made you feel, or how you could have possibly made someone else feel, or like how your emotions played a part in something. What's up with these emotions? What's up with these emotions? It came out sideways. Two of Wands. You felt split. You felt, I heard, torn in between two different worlds. Like whatever this was you was participating in, and what you was supposed to be, I heard, building for yourself. What you was actually supposed to be focused on, or what you were actually supposed to be working on. Okay, so you felt like you were too invested in something that was taking away attention from like you making moves, or having motion, or handling your business a certain way, or focusing on yourself, or taking care of yourself and your own needs, or something like that in a certain way. Like your emotions played a role in it to the point where that was the juggle. You felt like you couldn't do two things at one time, because like you didn't trust yourself when it came to something you were, I keep hearing, overly invested in, like too invested in. You was too chill, you was too, like, you was too chill, or you like was too in your head, or you over explain yourself, or you overly invested, or you were overly emotional to the point where your emotions could have started controlling you in a negative way, or something like that. You was juggling that with the idea of, I got too much shit to do, I got too much going on, I got too much that I'm working on or need to be working on to be focused on this all the time. It's like I need to buckle down. I need to pour all this energy back into myself. Like you felt like you didn't have extra to give, because you gave so much to something on one side that it left you feeling dry on the other side. And the side that you were feeling dry on is all the things you needed to take care of yourself. So it's like I have to stop giving over here and start pouring back into myself so the scales could balance back out. You know what I'm saying? Something had you feeling topsy-turvy. Like you didn't trust it. You couldn't get comfortable. Or you didn't feel safe. Or, yeah, back to overly giving. Clarify this Queen of Cups. I don't own the rights to this music. Clarify this Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups also clarify the Four of Swords. It came out again. So now instead of spending all, thank you, Father. So now instead of spending all your time, energy, effort, paying attention to whatever that was, you cut it out. You ended that cycle. You let it. You accepted it. Thank you, Father. That's the word I heard I'm supposed to use. You accepted something for what it was, like, instead of what you wanted it to be or what you were trying to, or what you hope it grew into, or something like that. It's like you stop waiting on something, or you stop feeding a situation that left you feeling, what word do I want to use? Left you feeling, I heard that is the word you want to use, feeling. It left you in your feelings. And you got tired of being in your feelings because you was paying attention to that so much so that you was like, fuck it. You scrapped that. It was like you scrapped the whole thought all together and just start pouring into you. And every time you start thinking about that, like, you distracted yourself by, like, focusing on you again. Thank you, Father. Yep. You made a judgment call about something, or you finally made a decision about something, or you just felt like it's time to make better decisions. You call judgment on yourself. It's like somebody took accountability for the role they was playing and why they felt like they were I keep hearing not in the right position or not playing the right position. It's like you wanted something, but based on how you was moving, I don't know if you felt like you couldn't have it for real, or you just had to do too much to get it, or do too much to keep it, or you just got to a point where you just felt like you was doing too much. Because it's like eventually your emotions took over your thoughts because you were thinking about it so long that it made you some kind of emotional, you know? Like you were thinking about it so long, it's like, dang, was I too chill? Like you started trying to figure out like why shit went left, but because of you. You know? It's like, why don't I trust myself in this situation? Or why am I going against what I would normally do? Or why am, you know what I'm saying? Why am I paying so much attention to this, giving so much of myself to this? Like, it's like you felt left on empty or just drained, or like shit was, I don't know if it was one-sided, or it's giving me like a vibe like you was fucking with something that wasn't fucking with you. Like I fuck with you, but you don't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? So I can't fuck with you. It's like that kind of vibe. Does that make sense? I feel like that's gonna make sense for whoever this is for. What was this you called judgment on? Sideways energy. This could be happening right now. Yourself. You call judgment on yourself. You took control of like your feelings. You have to call judgment on yourself in order to grasp your emotions. You start compartmentalizing like where all these different feelings was coming from. You know what I'm saying? Because you got tired of feeling like you was in the energy of having mixed emotions. You couldn't separate your emotions from your thoughts, like your logic from like you being in your feelings, to the point where you buckle down and start pouring back into yourself, focusing on yourself, considering what it was that you need or you wanted, or how you wanted things to turn out, or what you wanted to happen next, or what you wanted from this period, like in general. Like, is this paying off? Is this a good investment? Can I trust myself with this? Can I balance it out? Can this work? Or is it going to keep me feeling split in two different worlds? Is it going to have me going back and forth between giving myself to whatever this was, or pouring back into myself? Like, almost as if you're like tired of waiting on something, or tired of trying to figure something out, or just tired of feeling like you was the only one feeling this way. I don't own the rights to this music. Yeah, you got tired of feeling like you was the only one feeling this way. Or you got tired of feeling like you was the reason why you was feeling this way. What's up with this Five of Cups? Nope, I heard you's a different day. Get some words in here. Let's get some conversation in here. Hey, dog. Clarify this Five of Cups. What is these emotions you are compartmentalizing? What are these thoughts you're trying to put in order? Clarify the Five of Cups. I don't own the rights to this music. I don't own the rights to this music. You brought faith back into my life, and now I'm trusting a higher power. Despite my past, I allow myself to feel loved and protected. The Star. The Star is out here twice now too. So let's see. Major Arcana. You could be a fixed sign, so a Taurus, a Leo, a Scorpio, or an Aquarius. The Star is also Aquarius energy. The Four of Swords is also Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. With these cups, that's again, that's Scorpio energy, that's Cancer energy, that's Pisces energy, or just somebody who is really trying to get a grip on their emotions. In terms of the water sign. Also we had, oh yeah, that's what it is. Whoever this is, if you're not a water sign, you're just somebody who's really trying to get a grip on your thoughts and your emotions. You're trying to put them back in order, put them back in place. Like, my thoughts go in my head, my feelings supposed to be controlled by my heart. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason you feel like things is all scrambled, where you don't know if you're having the thoughts that you're having because of the way you feel, or you don't know if you're feeling the way that you feel because of the type of thoughts you're having. If that makes sense. So you're just working on putting things like in order. And it says you brought faith back into my life, and now I'm trusting the higher power. Despite my past, I allow myself to feel loved and protected. Yeah, you're trying to let something go, or an old way of thinking go, or an old way of feeling. Like, this could be trauma. This could be things that you ignored in the past that you finally dealing with now. But before, you could have tried to deal with these thoughts and these feelings when you were in the situation. Now you're trying a different, thank you, Father. Now you're trying a different approach by taking yourself out of the situation, dealing with your thoughts and feelings on your own, and then seeing how that plays out. Does that make sense? And you're doing that, like, you separating yourself from the actual situation so that you can see what's real about what you're thinking and what you're feeling, without being influenced by the situation, or by the people attached to the situation, or the things the things attached to the situation, like you taking that part of it out of the equation. I don't own rights to this music. You're taking that part of it out of the equation to the point where you just looking at you. This card flew out, now I gotta take it. I'm not ready for a relationship. I got used to my routine and it's easier to continue with my current lifestyle. Yeah, see? You let something go. Like you let the idea of trying to play certain positions, or you let the idea of investing into certain people, places, or things go so that you can focus on yourself in order to, it's like I got used to my routine. So in order to build structure in your own life, it's like kind of like you have to ground yourself, or you have to just take inventory of what it is you really cared about, or what it is you really wanted, or what it is you actually like have the capacity to do. That's what I heard. Give me more words. Tell me more. Ten of Cups. The love between us is overflowing and we can use it to build a family, to help others, or to save the planet. I love you. Yeah, so in terms of emotions, you could have feel like somebody helped you grow. But at the same time, in terms of emotions, like somebody had you dealing with emotions that you were used to ignoring, or you were either used to ignoring them or you over explain them on one side. You were either used to ignoring emotions on one side or over explaining them on one side of the coin, right? Because you were juggling, right? On one side, you are used to ignoring these emotions or these thoughts, or over explaining these emotions or over explaining your thoughts, right? And on another hand, it's like you could have felt sometimes when you gave into those emotions, they worked, but they were too intense. Like it was too much, because it says overflowing. Like it was too much. Like you didn't have the capacity to hold everything you was feeling all at once. It's like, all right, some of those feelings you probably could have felt like you had to ignore, or some of those thoughts you felt like you had to ignore in order to keep building, or in order to keep taking care of your family, or in order to stay focused on what you were actually trying to do. Like, but where does this I love you come in? That kind of threw me off. Because are you talking to another person or yourself? Because that was the juggle. Are you talking about you love, like whatever this was you were investing in? Like you were questioning if you loved whatever this was you felt overly invested in? Or like you were too cool about it, or something you kept, like, you was going against the grain, or you was like, I don't know if you was ignoring your thoughts, or ignoring your boundaries, or ignoring the way you would normally do things. It was like you kind of gave something a pass because of your feelings, and that's what had it like, or gave something a pass because of the way you were thinking about it, and that's why I was like, you just stayed in it trying to figure it out, and then just to realize in order to figure it out, you have to like step back, like get out the picture frame. Like you can't be a part of the picture and look at the big picture at the same time. You felt like you were too close to it to the point where you were missing something. Does that make sense? Like you were too invested in it, too involved, too in your head, paying too much attention, like too invested. To the point where you have to, like, to the point where stepping back or getting out or like pushing pause on something, I'm hearing shit like that, became like a necessity. It wasn't something you felt like you wanted to do it. It got to a point where it became something you felt like you had to do, and you stood firm on that. Because whoever I'm talking to, for this world card to be out here, for you to be represented by the fixed sign, this is somebody who is like, once you make up your mind about something, that's it. Until you decide to change your mind about it, you know? And whoever this is, it's like, you're not going to change your mind about whatever this is until you feel like not only do you have this figured out, but you have a grip on, like, the position you play when it comes to it. Tell me more. This one flipped over. This one fell out. I don't know how to deal with I don't know how to deal with intense emotions, so I walk away and I try to distract myself with other things. In society, status is high priority to me, and I like having control over others. I follow strict rules and I have high demands and expectations. So another reason why whoever this is could have felt like you were out of whack, or your emotions or your thoughts was like out of balance to the point where you needed to put things back in order in a way you felt like they should go, is because you are used to having control over certain emotions, and you are used to having control over certain thoughts, and it got to a point where that's how it felt. You could have possibly felt like you lost control in terms of how you were thinking about something, or you lost control in terms of how you were feeling about something, like, because you were, like, the emotions were too intense. The emotions behind those thoughts, the emotions behind those feelings were too intense. And that's how you handled it. You chose to walk away and focus on, it says distract yourself with other things, but I really feel like you chose to walk away and just focus on yourself and figure out what those other things were in the first place that you should have been focused on. Because whatever this was, you were over explaining yourself when it came to, or over giving in. It's like it threw you off balance to the point where you didn't trust yourself when it came to, like, how you were investing in something, how you were showing up. You didn't like how you were being presented, or how you was coming across to someone or something. Like, it's like normally it's like you have it was like whoever this is, you just have a certain way of doing things when it comes to thoughts and feelings. Like, maybe when it comes to your emotions, it's like you don't let yourself get too close, or you don't let yourself care beyond a certain point. Or in terms of thoughts, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of already made up your mind about something. You already have, like, your routine. You already have a certain way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? But, and, like, you having that routine and you having that structure is what makes things easy, to the point where you feel like you have that constant flow. And whatever this was that, I keep hearing that, whatever this was you was overthinking or over explaining, or feeling to the point where your emotions became overwhelming or too intense, it's like the only solution you could think of was to walk away and focus on yourself. Because it's like, that's literally how it feels. Like, this is just too much to deal with right now. I got too much other shit going on. I just gotta push pause, or I just gotta stop that and, like, you know what I'm saying? Stop looking left so I can go the right way. Stop looking back so I can keep moving forward. Stop focusing on this so I could pour myself back into that. Because whatever this was that kept stealing your attention away, it felt like a distraction because the emotions were too intense, or it felt like a distraction because you couldn't think about anything else, or it felt like a distraction because, like, you could never get comfortable in the role you played in the situation, or how you were showing up, or how somebody was showing up to you, or how something was showing up to you, or I don't know. We about to clarify that too. The energy just shifted again. Hold on. Which deck? Which deck? Mm. I don't know why it told me to grab this deck. I don't never use this deck. I don't rise to this music if y'all can hear it. Why did the energy just shift when I start talking about emotions? Why did the energy just shift when I start talking about emotions? Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it can come to you now. Very soon. What's happening very soon in terms of whatever this is you figure out about your emotions? Or whatever this is you clearly decide. What happens? It says give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. What else? Because that was a shift. I felt it. I'm going to get one more. Reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. It says very soon. Work on your partnership. Work on your partnership and clearly decide what you want so that it can come to you now. So that could be what you're working on in terms of compartmentalizing your emotions in the way that you feel. In order to work on the partnerships you are having, whether they be romantic or platonic or whatever, you know what I'm saying? In order to work on the relationships you are having, so the roles that you are playing or the position you were in terms of you dealing with somebody else or other people, it's like you needed to clearly decide what you wanted from that. And the only way you knew how to clearly decide what you wanted from what you wanted in terms of how you were going to deal with other people, it's like you had to take a step back so that you could decide. You had to take a step back so that you could see the role that you were playing. You have to take a step back in order to figure out like how dealing with certain people was affecting your emotions, affecting your thoughts, affecting what you paid attention to, affecting what made you feel like out of balance, affected the patterns you began to recognize or the cycles you felt kept repeating themselves in order to understand the thoughts that you were having, where you felt like you were either over giving, over explaining, too cool about something, ignoring your boundaries when it came to something, or like something like hurting yourself or betraying yourself, disappointing yourself, like, yeah, too lenient. I heard lenient on your boundaries because you are moving from emotion. So you pull back from this so that you could clearly decide what you wanted in terms of how you was feeling about certain people, certain partnerships. You have to figure out what you wanted from certain partnerships in order to get a grip on your emotions and your thoughts so that you could focus on whatever this was that you truly wanted to be working on, or so that things could balance themselves back out so that you could move forward in a positive light, like, or so that you could just keep moving forward, because whatever this was when you were in it, it got to a point where it had you feeling stuck because you felt too vulnerable or exposed, or like you are pouring, like giving too much. It's over giving. That's what we were saying, right? Over giving or over explaining, or and then in terms of your feelings at the same time, it was like they were so intense when you was in it, and that made you uncomfortable because you also felt like you were in the dark about something. And I think the energy I said in the beginning was, it was like it got to a point where you felt like you was fucking with somebody who didn't fuck with you, so you couldn't, so you didn't need to fuck with them no more, because like that's the conclusion you came up with when you was in your feelings. Like, I fuck with you, but you don't fuck with me for real, so I need to stop fucking with you for real. You know what I'm saying? And that could have been the energy that had you feeling like you were being too cool about something or over giving in something. And then in terms of thoughts, it was like in terms of thoughts, you were battling with the fact that like you were dealing with emotions that you were not used to dealing with because you had a routine. So in terms of relationships, you know, you already had your mind made up that you weren't ready for a relationship. So when it came to um, relationships and love and mixing those two together, you only allowed yourself to go so far. You know what I'm saying? It was like you were guarded when it came to that. You had structure when it came to that. You had rules when it came to that, and boundaries when it came to that. And you know what I'm saying? You were only willing to invest so much, or you were like you weren't gonna invest when it came to, you know what I'm saying, certain emotions or certain people or partnerships. You know, because some of them felt too intense, some of them felt distracting, some of them you just didn't know how to deal with, some of them had you feeling overly emotional to the point where it's like, all right, I need to get away from this, pull back from this, push pause on this, just stop this all together, you know what I'm saying, and go back to my normal routine. I need to go back to when things felt easy. I need to go back to when things was flowing, even if that means leaving you alone, even if that means pushing pause, even if that means like making my mind up without you. You know, it's like I gotta revisit on that later. It's like you didn't trust yourself when it came to something, so it's like I can't even afford to focus on that right now. I need to be focused on this. I know I'm supposed to be doing this. I know I'm supposed to be working on this. So you pulled back and went back to how you were doing things before you entered this partnership, or before you even considered it, or before you even decided to like give it a chance for real. It's like before you make up your mind about it completely, how you want to, oh thank you Father, that's what it is. Before you could make up your mind about how you want it to be in certain partnerships, first you needed to pull back and make up your mind about what it is you want for yourself. Because before you didn't want a relationship, right? You said you weren't ready for it, but now you got all this love. It says the love between us is overflowing, and I can use it to build a family or to help others. So it's like something like one of these partnerships, or maybe multiple partnerships, or maybe it's a new partnership, or one you've been trying to figure out for a long time. It got to a point where, yeah, it's that overflowing. It became too much emotionally. Like you went further than you wanted to go emotionally. It became too much emotionally. Because it had you being too lenient with your boundaries. It had you moving from emotion. It had you overthinking. It had you over explaining. It had you paying too much attention to that, knowing you were supposed to be working on and focused on, you know what I'm saying, something you were trying to do for yourself, or something you know you needed to do for yourself. So much so that it had you feeling out of control at a time where you felt like you couldn't afford to lose control, because you needed structure in order for something else to work. Yeah. So you could have separated. You could have either ended this confirmation. You could have either ended this partnership. You never even gave it a chance. Like, you never let it get off the ground to the point where it would be something like you would have to work on if you decided to focus on that. It's like something you have to work on. You have to give it a fair chance, or it's something you push pause on so that you can figure out what you wanted, and like you expected it to come back around. Like, yeah, that's what I heard. Like, you push pause. Like, you didn't consider it over. You just couldn't focus on it right now. So it's like you planned on like going back for some of y'all. That's not everybody. Others of y'all did. Y'all separated completely so that you can make a decision on what you wanted, like right now when it comes to this, like how things are now. Because it's like you expected one thing, you got something different. You know what I'm saying? You pictured it one way, but when you were in it, something else happened, and you had to pull back and decide what you wanted. But you plan that could also be the person that planned on returning, like back to let whoever this know when you're working on whoever this is you was trying to work on a partnership with, or whoever this was the partnership never got off the ground with, or whoever this was like you were considering a partnership with, and like maybe they had no idea. It's like you pulled all the way back to like make up your mind. Like, you wanted to make sure that you were sure mentally and emotionally. That's why you were split. That's what you're currently doing. I keep falling out in current energy. You compartmentalizing your thoughts and your emotions, putting everything back in order. That's what you feel like your life is lacking, like order. So much so to the point where you're taking your control back by going to find that order you lost along the way. But whatever this was, like, that got you in this energy in the first place, it taught you something. It like restored your faith. It made you want to trust yourself. It made you want to deal with these thoughts and these feelings that you're having so that you can trust yourself or learn how to trust yourself. Because you don't want your decisions to be based on things that happened to you in your past. You want to move forward by allowing yourself to accept things for what they are now, and like being honest about what it is you're feeling now, what you're thinking now, and still protecting yourself in a way where you feel safe to do so, you know? And when you was in whatever, I'm going to say partnership because that's what came out. When you were in whatever partnership this was, that was the goal. You were trying to balance things out. You were trying to get comfortable and feel safe. You wanted both. You like, sometimes you felt comfortable, sometimes you felt safe, but it never balanced out to the point where you felt comfortable and safe. You felt cool with how you were feeling and what you were thinking when it came to this situation. You never got that kind of balance with this to the point. You know what I'm saying? You always felt like you were over giving, or you were going to being too lenient with your boundaries, or too chill, or not speaking up enough, or over explaining yourself, or moving from emotions. It was like, it was too much. Thank you, Father. That's why it got to the point where it gave you so many emotions or so many thoughts to the point where they start overflowing because they became so intense where it's like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. I don't even know what the fuck this is anymore. Like, skirt, pause. You know what I'm saying? Let's wrap this up. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me shift focus. Now the same message coming out over and over again. Chris Brown, Teach Me How to Love You is on. I don't know why that caught my ear. Never heard that song. That song could be significant because I pointed it out because I've been playing music this whole time and I should have just said on the rights to this music like I did everything else, but that one actually caught my attention. Um, yeah, I'm trying to figure out which deck to use because that's what's going on now. That's why whatever partnership this is, whether it be platonic or not, or whatever this was you are working on that you put a pin in for a second, the reason why something is on pause, or the reason why something feel like it's a wrap, or the reason why somebody felt the need to stop investing in something in order to pour back into themselves and focus on themselves and work on themselves is because somebody's trying to separate their head and their heart. Like somebody's trying to regain control over their thoughts and their feelings. So if you're wondering what happened in terms of this partnership, or you're wondering like why somebody never let something get off the ground, or why somebody never gave the, I'm gonna say, partnership a chance, or like you could have got ghosted, or somebody could have just like put you on pause, like I'll be back, like that's how I left somebody feeling. Like on one side, if you're not the person that puts something on pause, like I'll be back, I need to figure this out. You on the other side of the partnership that got you feeling like you fuck with somebody who don't fuck with you, so you need to stop fucking with somebody and focus on yourself and pour it back into yourself, and then at the same time make a clear decision about what it is you want when it comes to a partnership. Because on the flip side, whoever that was, I don't think you was expecting this partnership to turn into what it turned into either, in terms of how it makes you think and how it makes you feel. It looks like the reason why things are out of balance for on both sides, for both people, is because it got to a point where that's what y'all were both doing, like currently still doing, trying to figure out which side to lean more towards, like your head or your heart. Like your decision isn't clear, you don't know what you want. It's like normally it's so easy for you to ignore these emotions, or normally it's so easy for you to just disregard them, or you ain't never felt like this before to the point where like you never even had to consider like what to do in terms of these type of partnerships. It was easy. Like you know exactly how you felt about it, you know exactly what how you thought about it. Like I don't want a relationship, I'm not ready for that, I already got my routine going, things are flowing smooth. Like when it comes to love, like you look at you only have space for love in the dynamic of like family and future, like what you wanted. Like it was part of your future plans. You didn't have no intention of having to deal with a lot of these emotions and shit that arose from this partnership right now. Does that make sense? It's like the type of shit I'm experiencing in whatever partnership this is you either push pause on, or wrapped up, or walked away from, or just ghosted. It's because it became too much. Like it's too intense. Like I don't even know what to do with this, or I don't know what I'm doing with this anymore. Like this wasn't how I was expecting shit to go, and you felt stuck in between two worlds, and like you had to make a decision. You had to pick a clear decision. I need to either figure out what's going on with this and stand on it, make a clear decision about what we doing in terms of this partnership. You know what I'm saying? Are we gonna give this relationship or a partnership a chance? Are we gonna work together to fix it? Are 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 we gonna try again, or are we gonna let this go completely? Are we gonna focus on ourselves? Are we gonna agree that this is too much to deal with right now? We got too much other life going on, and this isn't allowed to be our main focus. The last thing I can focus on right now is this partnership. I'm not saying it's over. I'm saying, like, I'll be back. I'm saying, like, it ain't even gonna take me that long. I'm saying that, you know what I'm saying? I still wanna work on this. I'm just saying that, you know what I'm saying? I also need time. Also need space to figure out and make a clear decision about, like, what we doing for real. And whatever this is that we doing for real, is this something I really wanna do? You know? And so now somebody took themselves out of that big picture they seen, because they seen the big picture. For the Star card to be out here multiple times, and for the Four of Swords to be out here multiple times, it's like somebody now has, thank you, Father. I heard both. Somebody had, and somebody now has more time to think about it. So you could have been contemplating this the whole time you were actually in this situation, in this partnership, to the point where that's where the juggling could have came in. You were trying to figure it out the whole time while you were in it. And now it's like, now that you pull back and you gain it, you trying to make a clear decision, and you're not physically in it no more, to the point where you could just look at and think back on, you know what I'm saying, how you thought about this, how you felt about this, how these feelings made you feel. What are you feeling that you don't want to feel? What are you feeling that you like? What are you feeling that's actually your feelings? You know what I'm saying? Is this me or was this you? You know what I'm saying? Was I tripping or not? Are these my thoughts? Are they your thoughts? You know what I'm saying? Is this me moving out of emotion? Is this me moving out of fear? Am I overthinking this? Am I over explaining myself? Am I giving too much of myself? Am I too invested? Or am I too chill? Am I being too lenient on my fucking boundaries? Like, I'm not used to moving like this in partnerships. It wasn't new, but it felt new. You know what I'm saying? Or it was new, but it felt familiar in a way that made you feel like you were no longer in control. And that became the problem. You had no control over something. To the point where that became the problem, because the more you felt like you didn't have control over whatever situation or partnership this was, the more you also felt like you were losing control over, like, yourself, your emotions, and your thoughts. To the point where the only thing you knew how to do was go back to your default setting and walk away, or distract yourself with other things, or you came to the same conclusion that I'm not ready for a relationship right now. It's easier to just focus on handling my business, because, you know what I'm saying, maybe your business started suffering, or whatever it was you were working on started suffering, because you were paying too much attention to that, to the point where the partnership became a distraction, or at least it felt that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm too invested in this partnership. I'm giving too much to this partnership. I'm over explaining myself in this partnership. I'm disrespecting my boundaries in this partnership. I'm disappointing myself. Like, I'm not moving how I normally move. Like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck am I doing? You got tired of asking yourself, what the fuck am I doing? In a situation that once upon a time you felt like you had all figured out. There was no secrets. Like, you saw right through something, or at least that's how you felt. In the beginning, you felt like you had shit all figured out, and over time, Either your thoughts took over or your emotions took over to the point where it left you feeling like you were still in the dark about something, or something was still being kept a secret, or like things aren't so black and white. It was officially a gray area you found yourself in, and you had to make a decision, or you felt like you had to make a decision at a time when you couldn't trust yourself. Yeah. What's next? Because it's current energy. So what's the next move? I'm starting to see that my actions have consequences, and I'm giving up blaming others. I surrender to the will of God and I let it be. It is what it is. That's what's next. It is what it is. Acceptance. Accepting the emotions that this, whatever this situation or this partnership made you feel. You're accepting them now. You're not ignoring them. You're not acting like they're not there because you don't know how to deal with them. You're not disregarding the fact that they're intense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not lying to yourself about anymore about having these emotions in the first place. Even though you still don't feel ready for the relationship, it's like you still acknowledge that the feelings that came from this partnership, or the feelings that came from this situation, it taught you something about yourself. It restored something in you too, because it said something about faith. What it says, you brought faith back into my life, and now I'm trusting the higher power. Like, it made you want to be better. It made you want to do better. It made you question how you could be better and how you could do better. It made you want to work on yourself. It made you want to get your shit together that much more. And now, in a sense, you're questioning, you know what I'm saying, a lot of areas where I was blaming this partnership, you know what I'm saying, pointing the finger at this partnership like it was a bad thing. Now that you're not so close to it and you feel like you can actually evaluate your emotions for what they are. Maybe you felt like you were in the dark. Thank you, Father. Maybe you felt like you were in the dark when it came to your own emotions, to the point where you finally feel back and you stop blaming the other person for the way that you are feeling, and just acknowledge that you are feeling that way. Like, whether you made me feel this way or I'm making me feel this way, I'm just going to stop lying to myself and accept the fact that I'm feeling some kind of way. Okay. Can you give me water? Oh yeah. Thank you. Okay. You just accepting the fact that you feeling some kind of way. And even though you don't like these feelings because they're intense, and you don't know what these feelings mean, and you feel like you have no control over these feelings, and you weren't ready to feel the way that you feel, you can no longer ignore that it's simply how you feel. And you can no longer ignore that. You can no longer ignore how acting like these feelings didn't exist played a role in how this partnership or how this situation turned out. Like, you peeping the consequences now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't trust myself because I was ignoring my feelings. Maybe the person you were dealing with in the partnership don't trust you because they were ignoring feelings that they obviously could see you had. Or maybe you were saying they were the one who were overthinking things, and they were the one who were too emotional, and they were the ones, what else I say, being too chill, or they were the one who didn't respect boundaries, and they were the ones over giving and over explaining and overthinking. And it's like, when you pull back, you realize some of them emotions were yours too. Like, some of the feelings you recognize, thank you, Father. Some of the feelings that you recognize in the other person that you were in this partnership with, when you finally pulled yourself completely out of that partnership, when you either ghosted it, you wrapped it up, like ended it completely, you like made the decision to put it on pause, like I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna make a decision about this, and I'm gonna come back to this later. I'm gonna focus over here right now, and I'm gonna deal with this later. Whichever one of those scenarios you decided to do, when you finally pull back to make a clear decision, you realize them feelings that I recognize in you, I got some of them feelings too. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't all you. I'm not saying it wasn't you, but I'm saying it wasn't all you. Like, I low-key feel that way too. I low-key got questions too. I low-key want to define what this is too. I want to know where this is going to. I want to get a grip on things too. I need more control over this situation too. I need to feel like I know what position I'm playing in this too. Am I playing the position I want to play? Or am I overgiving? Am I playing the position I want to play? Or am I too chill? Am I being too lenient with my boundaries? Am I ignoring things that I'm feeling? Am I pretending these feelings don't exist? Am I drained because of this partnership, or am I moving from emotion? Am I drained because I feel like I have no control over this? Am I drained because I'm stretching myself too thin between two worlds? Am I drained because I keep repeating the same patterns and same mistakes and same cycles? I keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Am I giving so much to this partnership that I'm neglecting myself? Or am I just participating in a partnership that I'm simply not ready for? It got to a point where you couldn't say you hated these emotions. It got to a point where you couldn't say you hated these thoughts, because you started recognizing how these thoughts and these emotions were working together for your good. Because regardless of how they looked, regardless of how things looked, and regardless of how things felt, like you were still learning. I didn't see this card, but it says, it's hard for me to face my pain, so I indulge in short-term pleasures or substances. I know it's not good for me, but I can't stop. Yeah, you started wanting more. Whatever this was, situation or partnership, it made you want more for yourself. It taught you something about how you deal with your emotions, and it taught you something about the way you think in terms of partnerships, to the point where your conclusion, when you stepped back and started looking at everything, not for what it felt like, just but for what it was. Like, when you start putting the facts together, when you stop moving out of emotions and you just start accepting things for how they happen. This happened when I was, you know what I'm saying, when I was in this partnership, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. And it made me think this way and think this way and think this way and think this way and feel this way and feel this way and feel this way and feel this way. And it made that person, my partner, think a certain way and feel a certain way. And it made me look at myself a certain way and think about myself a certain way. And it made me look at them a certain way and think about them a certain way and feel a certain way about them. And these feelings, like, I don't like some of these feelings. Like, some of them I do like though. I can't say I don't like some of these feelings. Some of these feelings I do like, but some of these feelings I don't like. And the ones I don't like, I try to ignore them. Or the ones I don't like, I recognize it's because I feel like I have no control over them. Or the ones I don't like, I recognize it's because they feel too intense. The ones I don't like, I recognize it's because I feel like I wasn't ready for them. I don't have the capacity to be feeling at this level. I'm used to short-term things. This feels long lasting, like it's not going away. Like I tried to ignore it, I tried to forget it, I tried to act like they didn't exist, and this shit not going nowhere. Now I'm paying it too much attention. It's all I can think about. It's all I can think about. It's all I can focus on sometimes. So much so that I feel like I'm overthinking it, and I start over explaining myself, and then now I'm moving out of emotion, and that fucks shit up. I'm all out of whack. I'm all out of balance. So it's like I gotta pull back. I gotta figure this out. Gotta start working on myself, pouring back into myself, like making sure I got motion. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford to stay stuck. No, you know what I'm saying, on this situation alone. This partnership and this partnership alone. I gotta keep moving forward. I got other shit to do. I gotta focus on me too. I can't get lost in this. I can't afford to lose control. And I can't afford to not deal with this. I need to know what this is. I need to make a clear decision about what this is, about what I'm doing, what this is teaching me. What's the point of this? Why is this partnership in my life? Why is the situation happening to me? Is it supposed to move forward, or am I supposed to let it go? What's hidden? Dun, dun, dun. I wonder how long this reading is so far. I don't own the rights to this music. What's hidden right now? What's hidden right now? During this separation, I heard. During this separation or during this isolation, what's hidden right now? To you, whoever watching, whoever feel like they the one trying to figure shit out. What's hidden to you right now? What you feel like you're in the dark about still. Promiscuous, sleeping around. You want to know if you the only one somebody was dealing with or not. Or you want to know if the other person is dealing with other people or not during this separation. What else? Like, are you really over there working on yourself like I'm over here working on myself? Or you separated from me and said that you were working on yourself just to go sleep around and mess around with somebody else? That's something that somebody feels in the dark about. That's something somebody wants to know. What else? Evidence. Like, what do you know about this situation that I don't know? You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody feels like you have more control over a situation than they had over it. Or maybe the reason why they felt like they didn't have control over the situation is because they felt like you were trying to control the situation, or like they have no control over the situation when it comes to you. Or they have no control over their thoughts when it comes to you. Or they have no control over their emotions when it comes to you. But any other night, it's not an issue. But when it comes to you, what do you know about this that I don't know? Because I walked away from this. I let it go. I separated. I wrapped it up. I ended it. I ghosted it. I pushed pause. So why is this still consuming my thoughts? Why is this still consuming my emotions? Why am I still overthinking this? And why does it still have the power to make me feel some kind of way? What did you know? What were you trying to tell me? What did I miss? What didn't I get? What didn't I see? What else? What else is this person in the dark about? Is this toxic? Am I the toxic one? Were you being toxic? Or is this shit toxic altogether? Do I like toxic shit? You know what I'm saying? Is this the type of stuff I'm supposed to be working on? Did I get separated? Did I have to separate from this because it was toxic? Toxicity plays a role in this somehow. Was I being toxic in this situation? Was it the other person being toxic in the situation? Was it toxic at all? Is it the fact that I feel like it wasn't toxic sometimes? Was that the problem? Am I used to shit being toxic? Like somebody questioning like how good this partnership or situation really was for them. What else? Is it good for me, or is it like every other thing that I considered to be toxic before? Because sometimes it reminds me of shit I already dealt with, which is why I don't want to deal with it. But sometimes it reminds me of shit I dealt with to the point where that's why I do want to deal with it. But is that toxic? Like somebody trying to define the word like toxic for them. So, what else? Falling apart, falling into pieces. Is this falling apart? Did this fall apart so we could put it back together the right way? Or why am I falling apart? If the other person was the one with all the feelings, now that I'm not dealing with this other person no more, why do I feel like I'm falling apart? Why do I feel like my world is in a whole bunch of different pieces? Why can't I keep it together? Why do I gotta put on a mask just to look like I'm wearing a brave face? Like, why am I feeling some kind of way now if I didn't have feelings for them when we was in it? Where are these feelings coming from? If I got rid of the person, wasn't the feelings supposed to go away with them? Because wasn't they the one with all the feelings? Why does this person's feelings even matter to me? Why do I even care how I made them feel? Why, like, normally when it's over, it's over. So why do I care how us being over affected them? Like, they can go their way, I can go my way. Like, why do I care? If it's over, why do I care if I ended it? Why do I care if I know that I'm the one who separated it so that I can make a clear decision about what it is I really need to be doing? Why do I care, you know what I'm saying, when it was my idea to never let this get off the ground because I knew from day one that I wasn't ready for a relationship? So why do I care? Like, what else? That's what I heard. What's hidden? Is there another relationship that I don't know about? Or was either relationship somebody else didn't know about? Are you keeping a secret from me? Or was I the secret the whole time? Because I feel like I fucked with you, but I don't feel like you fucked with me. And that's why I feel like I shouldn't be fucking with you. Because I don't even know if you fucked with me for real. Like, was it only cool that you was fucking with me because nobody knew you was fucking with me? What else? Somebody questions coming out with these what's hidden cards. What's hidden? What's hidden? All the stuff you feel like you had no control over is coming out in these questions. What's hidden? That's it. That's what it is. One of those things I said. What decision do you make? That's what I heard. Somebody want to know. Nope, I heard not this deck for that question. So what question am I supposed to be asking with this deck? It says they brought back your faith and you're trusting in a high power. You're allowing yourself to feel loved and protected. It's easier for you to continue with your current lifestyle, and you have like high demands or expectations. You're starting to see that your actions have consequences. You just letting it be. What do you want this to be now? What do you want now? What decision do you make in terms of what you want for yourself now? If you got to make this decision alone and the ball was in your court, whoever listening to me, if the ball was in your court about whatever situation this is, whatever partnership this is, what do you truly want? When you're not battling with your emotions, you're not battling with your ways of thinking, when you're balanced out, because eventually you do get balanced out. Justice card is here. All this shit, you all went through all this shit, but it worked together for your good. It taught you something. And now that you learned from this situation, you can move forward and have motion in terms of like this situation. And if you got to choose what the outcome would be for this partnership or this situation, what do you want? That's what I heard. That's the question for this day. What do you want now? Now. I heard now. Not before, not in the future, right now. What do you see for this situation or this partnership when you're being honest with yourself right now? That's what I heard. Knight of Swords in reverse. You don't want to act impulsive. You want to think things through. You want to be intentional. You want to be intentional moving forward. You don't want none of these questions to be an issue. You want all these questions to get answered. Whether you answer them for yourself, whether y'all finally have that conversation where y'all answer these questions for each other, whether you just finally decide one way or the other, this is how I feel about it, whether it's the truth or not, this is how I feel about it, this is how I think about it, so this is just what it is. I'm going to just let it be, let go, let God, and whatever happens, happens. But I'm going to be intentional about my boundaries. I'm going to be intentional about not over giving in this situation. I'm going to be intentional about not over explaining in these situations. I'm going to be intentional about not being too chill. I'm going to be intentional about speaking up. I'm going to be intentional about moving forward, having steady progress, consistency. I'm gonna be intentional about giving shit a fair chance. I'm gonna be intentional about trusting myself in the decisions that I make when it comes to this situation or partnership. I'm gonna be intentional about returning. I'm gonna have a plan. I'm not gonna be the same when I come back. I'm gonna have all this shit worked out. I'm gonna have all this shit sorted out. I'm gonna know exactly how I feel and exactly how I think and exactly what I want. My decision is gonna be clear. Now I'm gonna be intentional about making this decision very soon, quickly. I'm gonna be intentional about investing in what I choose to invest in. I'm gonna be intentional about bringing this to completion in a way that it's supposed to go, instead of repeating old cycles that made us feel stuck in the first place. What I want right now is to know what to be intentional about, and then to actually be intentional about it. I heard on the flip side, one of these cards is flipped over. I heard on the flip side, what does this the other person want involved in the situation, or the other person want that's involved in this partnership, or what do they want? If the ball was in their court right now, what do they want? What do they want? Dang, three flew out. Three flew out. Him, divine masculine, they want you. They want healing, and they want to release. And they don't want it to be all about like just having sex or a good time. That came out in reverse. On the flip side, the other person involved in this situation or this partnership, what do they want to say? What do they want to say right now? Keep hearing that. Right now. This is happening right now. What do they want to say right now? If the ball was in their court, what would they say right now? I wish I could take back all the words I said to you. I get very angry when someone doesn't agree with me because I act impulsively. They wish they didn't act out of emotion. They wish they could have just told you how they felt without being so emotional about it. Like, they wish they could have explained their thoughts to you and their feelings to you without feeling like they were over explaining themselves, without feeling like they're them telling you how they feel or telling you what they were thinking was a burden on you, without getting angry when about thinking, or getting angry when they felt like you weren't thinking the same way or you weren't feeling the same way and y'all were on two different pages. They wish they didn't make moves based off of emotion. What else? They wish they didn't get so defensive. What else? What else did they say? If they could speak right now. It didn't flip over. If they could speak right now. The ball was in their court and they could speak right now. What would they say? Thank you for reminding me of the simple joys of life. It is a happiness that comes from the soul, so pure and innocent and full of truth. Thank you for being real with them. Thank you for being genuine towards them. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for accepting them for who they are. Thank you for letting them see a side of you that they probably don't show to a lot of people. Thank you for just being themselves in front of you. Thank you for allowing them to be themselves with you. Thank you for showing me that I deserve to be happy with good people. Thank you for being honest about how you feel. Thank you for being honest about how you thought. Thank you for handling me with care when it came to that honesty. Thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for meaning something. That's what I heard. What else? Oh, and I said, thank you for meaning something. That hit me here, like in my gut. Not here, but here. Thank you for meaning something. What else? What else would you say? Done with that deck of hurt. I get very triggered when you have different views than me, and I take everything too personally, and I get easily offended. That's what made them move out of emotion. Like if they had to explain it, if they could explain it without being too emotional, that's what they would say. At the end of the day, like one of the consequences of them moving out of emotion is them realizing it was them taking everything too personally and getting defended too easily. So being defensive in moments when they were just really emotional. And then it says, every time we get past our arguments and get on the same page, I feel on top of the world and I exceed in all that we do. So when y'all didn't agree, you know what I'm saying, most of the time it would trigger this person. But when y'all did, you know what I'm saying, it made them want to be better. And it made them feel like they could do anything. Anything else? I heard what's to come. Am I allowed to answer that? Because all this is going on right now. I don't know if I want to answer that for y'all. Because I feel like the outcome should be contingent on... I heard don't use the word contingent. Think of a smaller word that means the same thing. I feel like the outcome should be based on the work you do on yourself during the separation. Because the point of the separation wasn't so y'all never, you know what I'm saying, come back together. It wasn't about being together or apart. You separated from this, or you pushed pause on this, or you ended this so that you could go work on yourself after learning something about yourself from being in this situation. So the outcome is going to happen as a result of the judgment call that you make on yourself. Because that's what it is. You pull it back to work on yourself. I never use this tag. Give us a clue. What's the energy? How about that? What's the energy during this separation right now? Outside of this situation and this partnership. Like, you working on yourself. What you doing though? That's what I heard. Like, what's going on though? Also, when you're not focused on this situation, when you're not focused on this partnership, what's going on with you? Like, somebody wants to know. Like, what's going on with you if you ain't, when you ain't dealing with me? What are you doing then? You ain't dealing with me, so what you doing? You ain't talking to me, so what you doing? You ain't paying attention to me, so what you doing then? You working on yourself. Working on yourself how? What you doing? That's what I heard. One last move. It says, you have come far on your journey. Keep going and you will see soon what you have accomplished. You working on yourself. You feel like you got one last thing to do before you can make this clear decision. What else? Like, you finishing something else up. Yeah, I heard it said like that. You finishing something else up. What else? What you doing? You're not thinking about me, worried about me, talking to me. Pathfinder. Trust your inner compass and illuminate your path through love and career, revealing the direction your soul wishes to explore. You're being honest with yourself about what you want next, and you just letting what you want guide you. You're pursuing what you want for yourself. You're going after it. You're chasing your goals, and you trusting yourself to get things done. And you trusting that wherever you end up is exactly where you're supposed to be. That's what I heard. What else? Last card. What else? What else do you want whoever to know? When you're not dealing with them, when you're not talking to them, when you're not paying attention to them, when you're focused on you, what's really going on behind the scenes? I don't even know how to pronounce that word. Labyrinth of choices. It says, chart your course through the perplexing labyrinth choices, embracing each turn as a part of complex. What does that word mean? Hold on, I gotta look up this word for y'all. My phone over a little. Try not to knock my phone down. It's sitting on top of my laptop. Where's my mouse? What does... I don't even know how to pronounce this word. Labyrinth mean. Why? I don't want AI for everything. Just tell me what it means. A complex, twisting network of paths or passages. You got more than which way to go. So while you're in while you're in separation, you're trying to figure out which path you want to take. Because it says this term can refer to a physical structure where it could be difficult to find one's way, or it could be used metaphorically to describe any highly complicated and confusing situation. So you're using this time apart to like figure things out and to choose wisely, like which path you want to be on for real. What conclusion, like what decision you want to make for real. You truly are using this time to make up your mind about what you want, to make that clear decision it was talking about. You said that's what you was doing, and guess what? That's what you really doing. That's what's really going on the other side. They really is taking this time out to figure out what it is they want. Which way they should go next. Should they go back and return to this connection? Should they keep going without this connection? So should they just handle their business, stay focused on them, and let whatever happens happen? The bottom oh. You know? But in the meantime, they can't afford to worry about that, so they just focused on themselves. I feel like that's it. Anything else? Heard, get this big ass deck. Whatever comes out, comes out. I'm just going to pull the one off the top. 3, because that's how many I did on the other day. Pull 3 off the top. They all lover loves cards. Even though all of these aren't lover loves cards, the ones I put off the top are all lover loves cards. It says, I fuck with you heavy. See that? I fuck with you heavy. You can't have us both. And low key, you're my best friend. Anything else? I feel like this reading done. Call me. Alright, last one. Or last three. I'm going to pull 3 cards from this and then I'm done. Whatever comes out, comes out. I heard pull initials. I'm going to pull 3 from this. I'm going to pull initials and then I'm out. I love you. There, I said it. And yes, I meant it. Tell them how you really feel because it's not for nothing. Those feelings didn't just come out of nowhere. So trust yourself enough to explore them. And last one. I don't want anyone who doesn't want me. And what did I say? Initials. And then we're done. I don't know how many initials I'm pulling. How many initials am I pulling? First number I see. First double digit number I see. I heard. There's no numbers in my room. I didn't change my calendar. It's on these cards. I said double digit number. First double digit number I see. 17. Wow. See that? 17 was the first double digit number I see. I'm going to shuffle them and I'm going to pull 17 off the top. There's only 26 letters in the alphabet. So for these 17 letters I pull, normally I'll say first, middle, last, nickname, initial. But for these 17, because I'm pulling so many, first name, initial only applies. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We're going to look at them together. B, Q, D, P, B again, K, G, T, E, L, L again, R, S, O, N, M, and H. So first name initials only. I'm going to say them again. H is in hat. M is in mushroom. N is in now. O is in October. F is in flower. R is in river. L is in love. L again is in love. E is in elephant. T is in tree. G is in go. K is in Keisha. B is in ball. P is in people. D is in door. Q is in queen. And B is in buckets. Okay? That's it. That's all. I love y'all. I hope I helped y'all. If I didn't help y'all, I hope I at least didn't hurt y'all. Bye.